Howdy all, Malex Lives. I think it's time to play a little... Oh no, I'm hungry and thirsty. 7 Days to Die. Gonna play a little hungry and thirsty. Alright, let's see what I got here. Yeah, I got enough to get started anyways. See if we can't get up here. Oop. Check my water before I go in. Oh yeah, got one anyways. So, big plan is to see about making farmland, which I guess I could have been doing while I was out wandering around. Farm plot. Nope, because I need rotting flesh. And that is in here. Oh, clay soil, okay. I was trying to figure out what I was missing. Um... How is water? How is that food 35% and water? Water is only 10%. It's weird. Alright, but we should be able to get some clay soil here. Oh. Didn't expect him to jump around the corner and grab me. It's been at the end of another long work week. Next week shouldn't be as bad necessarily. Got a holiday in there, so. I think it's Thanksgiving next week, pretty sure. Ooh, yep. Let's try to think. What did I do? What did I do? Did I watch anything last weekend? I started into Osiris, which is a new one. I watched the first 15 minutes of it. It seems pretty good. I just didn't have time to finish it. I got back around to it. Gotta get into that. I enjoyed the first 15 minutes anyways, even though the first 15 minutes have zero to do with spaceships, basically, or aliens, until the very end of the segment. It's mostly just soldiers moving around a nondescript Middle Eastern town, shooting people dressed as, I don't know what they're supposed to be, Bedouins. I don't know. Um, I don't even know what they were there for. I totally missed what they were even there for. But yeah, that's when I gotta finish. Oh, we've been watching the. We haven't seen this week's episode, but we've been watching the dairy. Ooh. You know what? It's close enough. It's gonna grab my bike, but let's see it coming down. Oh, look! Look what I just found. Right next to my friggin' base. I'm pretty sure I didn't mark that other spot either. That I mined at last time. So, that's super awesome. Oh man, I've been reading the reading through um, some science fiction books. I hesitate to call them military sci-fi. I mean, I guess they're not military sci-fi. Some of them are, I guess, but oh look right here, dude. How could I not find a niter? It's all over the place, right next to my base. What you got for me? We got books, awesome. We got melee mods, not as awesome. Herbal antibiotics, and a Forge Ahead book. Oh, I can make lockpicks. Nice. Where were you 30 years ago when I was trying to make a workbench? Alright, what do we get? We got, of course, food. Oh, I can make yucca juice smoothie. I'm trying to look at the books I just got. Time for your nonsense. I like sharp stick. I don't know about wiring. I do a lot of wiring. But, it's, so I really enjoy, like, super, I don't know what to call it. I don't know the terms of things. I want to call it super hardcore military sci-fi. I like when it's like Lieutenant blah blah blah, and you know, this is their ship, and this is the weapons, and this is the tonnage, and uh this is the okay, am I going to the right spot? Yeah, okay. These are the weapon emplacements, and you know, this is you know, like that. Not necessarily that. I don't want like schematics in my book, okay? You know, but I want it to be like, you know, you've been assigned a destroyer. Take it out and join the fleet to fight the, you know, the Natalie bumps. I don't know, and or you know, the Chino-Russia Federation, or you know, whatever they're fighting. The what the Sino-Indie, the Americans. I did read a British book where they were British series where they're fighting the Americans. I was actually really disappointed in that book because they. I get that it was British and it turned into fighting aliens pretty quickly. It was really weird to read a book where they're fighting Americans for like 5 seconds in the book, and they barely talk about any of the American ships. And you'd think that I don't know. One would think that Americans would have, you know, super powerful spaceships to fight with, but they're just like, yeah, we scuffled with them for like 2 seconds, and then we moved on in the story. And I'm like, aw. But the ones I'm reading right now are Gravedigger, and I hate the burning thing. You know why? Because I set myself on fire. Oh, yeah, let's get back down there and do some more digging. So, yeah, let's do some more digging before I get the plots put down. So, it was weird to me because I'm reading this one book series, and they're okay, but nothing's really like catching my fancy. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, I gotta finish this whole series. Because I got to the end of the ones that I was really enjoying, and now they're like, the next book comes out in April of 2026, and I'm like, oh no. Or it comes out in September of 2027. I'm like, oh no. So I went back to read some other series. I'm on like, so this is what happened this week. I went to one book, and I'm just looking through all the books I have because Kindle Unlimited lets you get like 10 books or so. It says 10, but I'm pretty sure I've got 20. And and so I'm flipping through all the books I have downloaded on my Kindle from it, and I've got this Star Force series I had been reading, and I'm on like books 13 through 16 or something. And so I'm reading the book, and I'm like, okay, I'm remembering what I remember what was happening here. We got the weird alien juice they found that turns people into super soldiers, but you've got to like hardcore super workout constantly for it to work correctly, and so they've got like their super soldiers, um and then there's like various levels of the juice, and so they have their commanders called archons, and I'm like, yeah, I remember what happened. And so the book is the spot I apparently stopped reading in the books was Star Force had finally gotten enough troops together and built up a large enough navy using the alien technologies they had found to step out of the shadows and tell the world they needed to stop fighting each other because they are literally fighting in one solar system, solar system, around Earth and Mars and stuff, and they're fighting with like massive fleets of spaceships and blowing up each other's space stations and stuff, um, and so I'm like, right. I'm remembering this, and so the first couple of books back into because the books are like at this point they're omnibuses, so it's books 13 through 16, or maybe 13 through 17. I don't remember how many books are in that book. And so the first one is all about the end of the war, which is basically this giant war. Um, the Japanese bombed a space station that belonged to the Americans, and so the Germans jumped in with the Americans, and then the British jumped in, and then they're all fighting each other, and so Star Force is like, no, this is it. You're gonna kill the human population with your nonsense. War between humans needs to end, and so they stepped in and started. They took over Mars, and then they started blockading the moon so no one could get supplies or get supplies to their lunar bases and stuff like that. And can I make iron tools yet? I don't think I have iron tools unlocked. No, they're still locked. Nope. Dang it. Okay. And I get to the next book after they finish that, and then book jumps forward like 100 or so years, and like we know that the blah blah blahs are coming. I don't remember what their bad guys are called, and we need to get ready. And so I'm like, all right. I remember they were fighting. I remember there were aliens involved in this story, but I just don't remember what's going on. And then I get to the part where it's like, oh right, the aliens are dinosaurs, literally dinosaurs. Um, the dinosaurs didn't get wiped out by a meteor. The dinosaurs left Earth. I'm like, right, right. That's why I stopped reading this because it's a little nonsensical. Dinosaurs, your aliens are dinosaurs who don't have opposable thumbs. Please. Um, because the leaders of the dinosaurs are the long necks. And there's a whole section of the alien pyramid base that they're trying to explore that's just for the Triceratops, right? Like, what's a Triceratops gonna do? I'm sorry. Now you want to have lizard, dinosaur type aliens, like, raptory, bipedal alien types with hands. I don't have a problem with that. Or we just want like, T-Rex mounts. That's fine. But what's a T-Rex gonna do with a spaceship? You can't reach the controls, and we all know it. Okay. Uh, but yeah. So I'm like, oh, that's right. That's why I stopped reading this because I wanted something more serious. And then so I finished a couple books in that, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna finish this omnibus right now. I need a break from dinosaurs, and they haven't even got to the dinosaurs as a thing. Maybe if they were fighting the dinosaurs, it'd be different. But they're only to the point where they're trying to figure out what happened to the dinosaurs. And so then I swap books, and I'm like, all right, what's this book that I've got? And so I read this other book, and I get through that book, and I'm like, okay, right, right. This is the one where aliens had conquered Earth and they had taken a bunch of people and they dumped them on a planet, and then the lizards are fighting with the hamsters, and the hamsters currently run the planet, and this one soldier got put in confinement, but they didn't have a cell for him, so they locked him in a warehouse room, and he just happened to get locked in a room with a super genius millennial old computer that's the size of a can, like a can of pop, and it can control space time. It just can't carry itself around. And so it needs the human to carry it around, and now they're single-handedly waging war against both sides with one ship they stole. Like the aliens and stuff, they use these wormholes to travel around, and nobody knows how to make them really. And this tin can AI thing happens to know how to not only alter where they go to, but open and close them so that nobody can go to like Earth and stuff now, because it's all been shut down by the tin can so that the humans can help it do whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh. I need more base. Why rose a 10? I don't know. That just randomly happened. Let's get some yucca seed going here. I'd like to get the yucca juice happening here. Okay, so what am I missing for more farmland? Because that is definitely what I've got to get going right now. I need more rotting flesh. Alright, let's get out and get some rotting flesh then. And so I'm like, alright, so finish that book and that series, and I didn't get the next one. And so I don't hate that series. It's just, it's not as serious as I would like it to be, right? It's too easy. There was a really good one I was enjoying where it was, I don't even remember the author anymore. That's what I like about Kindle Unlimited a lot now, is that they now list the next books in the series for you. And so I can go to a spot on my Kindle and it just lists all the next book in the series that I have been reading. And so I don't have to keep track of which authors I've been reading or what's the next book. It's just there for me. And I just go, all right, let me flip through the list. This sounds like what I want to read next. Click. And I love it. I love it. This is not what I want to do. I need to follow the road and get dead body goop. So yeah, so so then I swap books, or swap series again, and so I'm reading the next series, and I'm like, okay, I barely remember this one, and because it's so weird, and so I'm going through it. I'm like, oh right. So this guy, he doesn't have a tin can AI. He's got a creature in his head. And they basically are real similar to the tin can. Well, they don't control space time the way the tin can can. They are like they're fighting the bad guys, and they've got one ship against 5 of the bad guys' ship, but they've got 3 people now who've swapped sides, and so the aliens that now reside in their heads are capable of shutting off the weapons and shields of the other ships remotely. And I'm like, okay, well that's not what I got in mind for what I really want to. Ooh, nice. What I really want to read here, and so I think I got another 40 minutes or so in that one, and then I'll be done with that one, and then I'll probably swap to another series. Yeah, I was reading this really good series, which is one of the ones that are like, the next book doesn't come out till November of 2027, and that one was this lieutenant guy got dropped off with a crew of 2 engineers, I think, himself and a pilot who shuttled them over to a aliens have attacked. I don't know if they knew there were aliens before they got attacked. Like, I don't know if humans were aware that there were aliens until the moment they got attacked here. They must have. And so I think that's why they have ships out there. And so the ship got attacked, and then this other ship that the lieutenant guy was on shows up, and the captain wants them to they got hit a few times, and so the captain wants them to go to this now abandoned military vessel that's like a sister ship to theirs, like it's the same model, and everyone's dead on board the ship, and so they're gonna go over and cannibalize it for parts, and so they get on board the shuttle and they fly over, and while they're trying to find the parts they need, oh, I didn't get nothing off that guy. Oh, I should have used my knife, right? Dang it. I'll take those. The ship they're from gets ordered back into the fight, emergency wise, and so they have to flee. Okay, dude, use your knife. And I'm pretty sure I've looted this place already. I don't know if it's been enough days here that it's restocked. Okay, knife. Oh, okay, well, that's weird. Just left the leg behind. So then they're on board this ship, and the other ship gated out or warped out or however they travel in that particular book. And so they have to do crazy things to get the ship started. And then that one's fun for me because it's fairly serious. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I've never been here. It's fairly serious in tone, but it's this, group of. Well, the first couple of books are just that small group of soldiers, and then, well, not soldiers, sailors, I guess, technically. Military personnel. I'm just gonna call them soldiers. And so they have to get the ship started, or else they're gonna die because they don't know how long the other ship is gonna be, and they only have the atmosphere that's in their packs, right? And so once their suits run out of oxygen, they'll die, and they've got to get the oxygen stuff back on board and or back up, and so they have to do crazy things. The reactors are down, and to start a reactor is like this big technical to do thing, and so they the only way to get it going is to like dismantle part of their space shuttle. I guess shuttle would have been fine. Dismantle part of their shuttle and then use the shuttle to jumpstart the reactor, except that no one's ever done it before. The reactors have only ever been started in controlled environments where they're manufactured and then placed on the ships, and then technicians with lots of tools start them up. And so you got technicians, these two technicians. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Who are trying to use the shuttle to reignite everything. But yeah, so just it's like that, and so they're always doing crazy things. Like the ship's got holes in it from the attack. The shields are gone. It barely has engines, right? And so they hide it in the asteroid field with everything shut down that they can shut down. And then when the other ship they were on finally comes back to pick them up, they get attacked by some of the aliens, and so they by that point they had I think by that point they had rescued a part of a repair vessel, and so they had a few more people on board, and so they used the like grappling hooks and stuff to attach to asteroids, and then they were flinging the asteroids out of the asteroid belt into the alien ship while it was trying to fight the ship they had originally come from. But I really like that one. That one was pretty good. I didn't care so much. One of the books was like completely on a planet, and that one wasn't as fun as the others, but yeah, I like that series. I don't know. I think I got spoiled back in the beginning because like I read the Honor Harrington series, which is like super good political military hardcore sci-fi stuff, and then Elizabeth Moon, I think, has a series. I don't remember what hers is called, but it's about a whole family. It follows a family, and like one of them is military, and there's like a government coup, and the whole government gets destabilized, and so the military basically falls apart, and I think their planet gets bombed, by people who are against the particular family, because they're um, the one character, she's in the military, but the rest of her family are. Oh, I saw you. What you think of that? That's what I'm talking about. Um, but so it was odd for her to join the military, and then all the rest of them are members of they're like a trading family, right? So they'll have their own trading ships and stuff, and they're rich enough that they own their own planets, kind of thing. And so then the one cousin, I think, ends up starting. I think they kill off all the heads of the family, and so the one cousin starts back up the trading stuff. The military cousin, she starts up new military specifically for the family, and the I think there's one more cousin who starts doing political spy work and stuff like that. And I really like that series. That was a good one too. Um, and then I don't know. I enjoy the usually hardcore military science fiction has got a lot of political intrigue um or should have brought my bike or just stuff like that. Political intrigue, military fighting. They discuss the weapon systems, usually tactics on how they're gonna fight it out. What was the one I was reading? I can't remember. The one series I was reading was just like, this side has 52 ships, and this side has 57 ships, and this side shoots 40,000 missiles, and then this side shoots down 38,000 of the missiles, but that leaves 2,000 of the missiles to hit the ships, and the whole series was just like that over and over again. And I'm like, this is not quite what I was looking for when I said I wanted to read about the tonnage and the weapons and stuff. This is not my idea of a grand story here. Although that story's okay. What is that series? I don't know if I reached the last book in it or if I took a break from it. Um, what is that series called? Because it's like humans aren't aware of aliens, and then uh that's the British series I was talking about, where they were fighting with the Americans, and then they barely. What is that? Oh, is that a chicken? Looked like a garden gnome just ran out of there. Dude, was that a chicken? I'm gonna hope that was a chicken and not some kind of new tiny zombie monster that I didn't know got added to the system. Um, but yeah, that one um the first couple of books are like wars between the different Earth company countries, and then the there was like humans left with generational ships to colonize other planets, and then um I think it's something about empire. Now that I think the series is like Empire Ascendant, Empire something like that. But it's then they go out and they find one of the colonies that went out with a generational ship, but they had taken the uh precursor research on warp drive, and so they came up with their own version of the warp drive that's not identical but close to the main people's warp drives, and so um they can only go warp drives only work. Okay, human warp drives only work where there's no gravity, and so they have to be outside of the gravitational field of a star to be able to activate their warp drive. And dark matter also stops them from working. So it's all about, the first book is like sending out this guy to command his own ship, and he's tasked with running a probe ship basically through tunnels in dark space, looking for pathways through. You know, kind of like the hunt for the Northwest Passage kind of thing. And he finds one, and it leads to this whole big open area with a whole bunch of stars inside of it, which is rare. And then he finds out that the Chinese are already there, and so they have a little war with the Chinese because if you discover a new system, you're supposed to report it to the UN, and the Chinese had not done that, and so they have a little war with the Chinese over it, and then that leads into a war with India, and so while they're fighting with India, they discover that one of the colony ships that had gone out had returned. Well, people from it had returned, and so they found their way to the Havenites. Haven is the name of their home planet, and so then when they were there talking to those people, aliens attacked, and no human had ever seen aliens before. Really, I think the Havenites had, but they weren't telling anybody. And so then that started the whole fight with those guys. And then once they were done with those guys, they ran into another alien species that's like insects kind of thing that, swarm and then send out their descendants to take over new star systems. And so they had to fight those guys. And then when they fought those guys, they found a whole federation of planets or species that all were working together, and then that led to a war with this other group who were bent on conquest, and they were actually using the insects to soften their enemies before they attacked. And then the opposite side of the human-held space had this tiny snake creature species that live their lives in VR, except for the ones that they sent out to make sure nobody comes for them. And so they were like super secretive and stuff. And so the humans figured out that they existed, and then wound up making allies out of the aliens they had tricked into attacking the humans. And I think that's about where I quit, was after they defeated those guys. I think that might have been the last book that was out. The thing is that the book keeps talking about the book has these little snippets at the top of the page, and the snippets are like from a textbook, and the textbook keeps mentioning all these wars that the humans have been in, and how this one was bad, but nothing's as bad as this other group. And so they keep mentioning these other groups that are way worse than anything that's been in the book so far. And so I'm just like, oh, you know what? I did get to the end of it, and the author goes, I'm taking a step back from this series for a while. I remember now. I'm like, dude, you mentioned things, and now I'm not gonna get to find out because you're taking a break. and I like it, and I like it. But that was all right. Uh, like I said, it was. I just wish they'd talked a little more about tactics, and I like tricky ploys. You know, um, like that guy back in I don't remember what war it was, like the War of 1812, or uh, I don't think it was the Revolutionary War. It might have been, but I don't think it was that long ago. But they were, they used to fight with sailboats, right? And they'd line up, and then they would just sail past each other in opposite directions and unload their cannons as they went by. And this guy goes, "What if we use smaller ships and went the other direction?" And and so instead of sailing parallel, they sailed in between the vessels and fired upon them perpendicular instead of parallel. And so with a much smaller, weaker fleet, he was able to defeat the other side. I like stuff like that. And yeah. All right. Well, I think I am gonna call it here. I didn't even talk about dairy or anything like I was going to, but it's all right. Be around the small things, lean the light. I will talk to you later.